Welcome to another Fireside chat where I invite our cybersecurity technical instructors to join me about individual cybersecurity courses we offer through DDLS. Today we're going to be discussing a course which has another interesting name, EC Council's Computer Hacking Forensic Investigator, or CHFI. And joining me today to discuss this course is Terry Griffin. Terry, thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you, Jeremy.
So, Computer Hacking Forensic Investigator. A lot to take in there. It sounds interesting. It's a 5-day long course that you deliver. What's it about, and what's covered off over the course of the 5 days?
Well, the Computer Hacking Forensic Investigator course is a rather necessary course because if the police, for example, or any other government agency is looking at catching criminals in the act or after the act, then they need to look at the computer systems that the criminals are using, whether they're mobile phones, IoT devices, computers, and the like. So the Computer Hacking Forensic Investigator is a person who can break into the computers and extract the information out of these computers, legally, of course, with search warrants and so on and so forth, in order to get the information needed in order to charge the criminal and have a successful day in court.
Right. And so is this course, is it specific just for law enforcement, or could anyone actually sit this, if they're interested in getting into digital forensics?
Well, some of the attendees I've had on the course have been policemen from different police forces. I've also had, which was interesting, one of the guys on the course was a school administrator. And being a school administrator, a statewide school administrator, he was investigating, or targeted with investigating, small crimes admittedly, but crimes by children against other children, such as using mobile phones for abuse and computers for abuse. So it covers a whole range from kids to senior criminals, effectively, I guess.
Okay. And so during the course of those days, do attendees on the course, do they learn about different tools or programs that can be used to actually extract evidence from a compromised machine or as part of an investigation?
Yeah, we do. One of the first things we learn on computer forensics is if a computer is turned on, leave it on. If it's off, leave it off until such time as forensic investigators determine the best way of extracting information from it. But yeah, certainly some of the tools we use, we put a write locker or blocker on the drive, take a hash of the drive to make sure that our copy is identical, and then take an exact copy of the drive. And then we can work on the copy of the drive rather than the drive itself. In doing these things where we're extracting information out of computers, we need to have a chain of custody document written up and signed, sealed and delivered effectively as to wherever that particular piece of evidence goes, a chain of custody document goes with it, and it has to be complete. Otherwise, the information isn't going to be acceptable in court.
Okay, and so there's examples of how to do this during the course. I'm guessing as part of the. So if we look at what we discussed then about actually being able to get that data, does this course have labs which actually steps the attendees through on how to do each of those processes?
Yes, it does. We have labs, and the labs run for 180 days from the first day of the course. So there's plenty of time to go through the labs, and there's plenty of labs there to put your hands on and sort of get your hands dirty on it and practice the tools that we recommend you use.
Okay. And so I'd imagine then, when you're handling evidence, and there was the chain of custody document as well, there'd have to be regulations and policies and potentially ethics that come into play there as well. So will those sitting on the course also, learn about that?
Yes, there are a lot of ethics involved. In fact, search warrants are essential in order to be able to get the information we need and present it in court. So the search warrant is part of the chain of custody documentation, effectively saying, yes, we've got the right to go in there, and we have the right to get this information, and here's the information, and here's the authority we have in order to be able to get in there. Yeah, we have to be particularly careful about that, because otherwise, if we fail to tick any of the boxes, then the whole thing falls apart and it'll get thrown out of court, which is what we don't want.
Exactly. So if we're looking at people who might be thinking of sitting on this course, would this be good for someone who's maybe, a security analyst or an incident handler, where they're going to be able to potentially learn some new skills around digital forensics that they could bring to their own organisation, if there is a potential incident?
Certainly, any incident has, as you say, the potential for being a target for a forensic investigator. If it's a virus attack, you want to find out where the attack came from, so you can defend against it next time. We can't reverse hack, of course, that's not legal, but we can defend against hacks, we can defend against ransomware. So if we understand how the malware, whatever it happens to be, gets into our system, we can defend against it. And that's another thing that the forensic investigator will be able to do, is to make recommendations on defending a network once the offence has happened.
Okay, no, that's great. It sort of aligns with what I was thinking around, students who may have sat other security courses with us, in the analyst type role, or the network defense, or even the ethical hacking type roles. This would probably be a logical next step as well, because again, it's all going to add to that skill set that they hold in that area of, defending and protecting their organisation's assets.
Yes, that's correct. I find that's very much the case, and it's a very enjoyable course, and there's a lot of information in there which is very interesting. I find it an extremely interesting course, and I love teaching this one. Well, I teach any of the security courses, and I like them all, but this one in particular has you thinking outside the box as to how you can find the information out and extract the information.
Fantastic. Excellent. All right, Terry. Well, look, that's all we have time for with this chat. Thank you once again for taking the time to come in and have a chat with me about the CHFI course, and look forward to catching up with you again.
Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, good
Terry.
to be here.
See you later.